I was gonna make a joke parody of this translator during the scene, but it was honestly so awkward I couldn't actually make a joke of it. The actual thing is just a joke itself. So just enjoy.
Yay. Oh, that didn't go very well. Hi everyone, I'm Suda52. I'm from Grasshopper.
今日はですね、この1.13有明大会、エキシビオンじゃなくて今回スペシャルマッチで呼んでもらいました。今回ゲームの話を一本したいと思います。
Today I'd like to start, I've been invited to come to this event and I'd like to talk about one of the games that I worked on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very, very exciting episode. As you can see in the title of this episode, this is the discussion about the January 12th Nintendo Switch live presentation that just happened in Japan. And it was a doozy with lots of ups and there's a couple downs too. I have a lot to talk about here. Just to start off, I don't want this video to be as in-depth as my last one, because that video was... I did a 30-minute video on 3 minutes of footage, and if this video ends up being like 2 hours long, well, you could have just watched the actual presentation. So this one's going to be more just a telling you what we learned in case you don't want to watch the full thing. That way you can just get a quick recap, and that way if you want to see the big news, you can just go watch the main videos that Nintendo posts. Because let's be honest, I don't want Nintendo to take my channel down for showing gameplay. Anyways, starting off, so the big news, the big number one news is that the Switch is coming out March 3rd, which, to be honest, is a lot earlier than I thought it would be. There was a lot of rumors going around that it was going to be a 17th release date, but March 3rd, so that is like 6 weeks away, which is incredibly soon. The price point is going to be $299, $300. I was betting on $250. $300 is fair. I don't think that's too much for what you get. For basically being a console handheld combo, I don't think $300 is asking too much. So all in all, March 3rd, $300. I think that's fair. I'm happy with that. They went a little bit more in depth on the controller scheme. There's a good few ways to play it. You can either just play it on the TV with your normal controller or the Pro controller. You can play it on the go like a tablet. Or if you want to, you can slide the ends of the controller off, and those are called the JoyCons. And you can either use those, you can flip them to the side and use those kind of like a really small controller, kind of like you would the Wiimotes when you flip those to the side and use them. Or you can use them like actual motion control Wiimotes. So, clearly Nintendo's not ready just yet to get rid of the motion controls, which is fine. They showed off a couple games using those, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, basically you can play it multiple ways. You can connect with up to 8 total Switches to play together, which is pretty cool. I'm guessing games like Mario Kart 8 and Smash Bros, you'll be able to use those pretty darn well. Surprisingly, there was no mention of Smash Bros. Just realized that. Kind of strange. I was for sure we'd be getting a new Smash Bros, but I guess not. Not a new Smash Bros, I was for sure we'd be getting a Smash Bros Wii U port, but it didn't happen. So yeah, we did learn a little bit about the battery life on the tablet itself. When you take a tablet out, depending on the games, I think they said it was about a 2.5 to 6 hour battery life. So I'm guessing for really low games, you can probably get about a good 6 hours. I'm guessing for games like Zelda and Mario, you're probably only going to get about 2.5 to 3 hours. The good news is that you can either charge it on the go, or it does allow you to plug in USB-C battery packs. So if you're on the go, you're on like a long flight or something, you can plug in a battery pack to keep it charging. So it's nice that they did realize that people are going to be wanting to play this on the go for a long time, for trips and such. So, well, the battery life itself isn't fantastic. I wasn't expecting it to be. And the fact that you can use a battery pack with it, it makes it better. So I'm probably going to have to be buying a battery pack. There's 2 different versions on release. They're both the same. It's just the JoyCons is what they're calling the little Wiimote things that you slide off. The JoyCons you can either get in just a gray color, or you can get one with a red and a blue JoyCon. And I kind of hate that. I like the colors. I'm glad that they did colors. But first off, the Switch is the same black color. But The Joy-Cons, there's not a blue Joy-Con bundle and a red Joy-Con bundle. There's a blue and red bundle. So your controller has like blue on the left and red on the right. I don't like that. That's weird. Why wouldn't they just let you have one color? It's kind of weird. Nitpicking. I'll probably just get the gray one, to be honest with you. I like colored systems, but I wish they had just given me a solid color, and I don't like that I have to have a red and blue. It just looks weird. That's just me nitpicking. I'm sure most people won't care about that. So obviously the most exciting part was the games itself, and they showed off a good few games, not as many as I was hoping. We're going to get the boring one out of the way. The first one they showed was a launch game called 1-2 Switch, and it basically was like a party game where you play with the tablet laying down, and you don't actually look at the screen. You play with the Joy-Cons, little handheld things. They're going to have like little weight sensors in them, so you kind of have like a sense of like, the thing they used was you can feel if it has 1 ice cube, 2 ice cubes, or 3 ice cubes, and it was really weird, and I didn't like that. But so you're going to use the Joy-Cons to kind of like feel and play against each other. So instead of looking at the screen and play against someone, you look at the person to play against them. And it could be fun. Kind of looks like a Wii Sports-esque game where it's not going to have that much actual depth to it, but it could be a fun party game to play with your friends when you've had a couple beers. Another new game they showed was called Arms, and it was kind of like Punch-Out, but with like clown wrestling people, robots almost, with stretchy arms. And you also use that with the Joy-Cons. You hold them like you would a Wiimote and a nunchuck, and you move around like this, and you fight. So it's just Nintendo trying to get you exercise. I liked it. I liked the character design and the graphics. It was very cartoony. Only time can tell if it's going to actually like have a lot to it, or if it's just going to be another throwaway title. So we'll see. It looks fun. I like the art style quite a bit, so I'm going to give it a chance just for that. I believe they said that one comes out sometime in summer, so sadly not a launch game, which is something we'll talk about later. Another exciting one was Splatoon 2. We talked about this in my last in-depth look in it. We weren't sure if it was going to be a Splatoon 2 or a just like a better Splatoon. Well, it's a Splatoon 2, which I'm really excited about. They did miss an opportunity to call it Splatoon. Splatoon, get it? Missed opportunity. But Splatoon 2, if you've not played Splatoon, it is an amazing game. Kind of came out of nowhere, but a lot of people liked it. Great multiplayer game to play with friends. So it looks like they're just going to be adding in new squids and such, new weapons, new maps. They did say that they will be doing the same thing they did with the first game, wherein after release they will be adding free maps, free weapons afterwards, which is nice. There'll be like events and such, so things to keep you playing the game afterwards. So that one I'm really excited looking for. I hope they've learned their lesson from the first one with multiplayer. I hope they make the online multiplayer a bit more robust, add more to it. I think they will. I think they will have learned that. So that one, they said, will be, sadly, a summer title, which is only a few months away from the March release, but we do have to wait a while to get Splatoon, which is kind of a shame. I feel like that one would have been a good launch title. The next game to talk about is a really exciting one. We knew this was coming, we just didn't know in what variety. In the first Switch trailer, we saw like 20 seconds maybe of Mario gameplay. Well, in this one we saw about a good 2 minutes, no, like 4 minutes at least, of the new Mario game, Mario Odyssey. I like it. They specifically brought up these games. They said it, as we talked about in the last discussion, it is going to be a Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, open world exploration-esque game, which is what they needed to do. It is what they needed to go back to, what we have Mario fans have been wanting, so that was a great idea. Thank you, Nintendo. I also like, the problem with Mario games in the past few years, like the Wii U and the 3DS, is they've been really afraid to try new things, bring in new characters. They've been keeping Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom, and all the people around him are just toads, and there's no new characters. This one, they specifically said they're taking Mario out of the Mushroom Kingdom, which I like. They showed off so many different areas. There was like a realistic-looking kind of like Brooklyn-esque area with like realistic-looking people that looked really cool. There was like a really cool like cartoony area, a desert, winter mountain. So I like that. I like that they're finally bringing Mario back to you know, his nice open area games, because I think 64 and Sunshine were some of his best outings. Bowser's of course in it, but he's wearing like a dapper gentleman's like tuxedo suit. Looks like he's gonna get married to Peach. I don't know. That's fine. I hope Luigi's in it. Also, weird thing. Looks like it's going to be. They could have just called it Mario Minish Cap, because just like in the Legends of Zelda Minish Cap, Mario's hat is coming to life. It has like a pair of eyes on it. Like Mario can like. So it looks like you're gonna talk to the hat, but Mario can also like throw the hat and jump on it as a platform and use it. And he also has like a spaceship that's in the shape of a top hat. There's a lot of weird things in that game, but I like all of it. So I'm really excited for that one. I'm glad that they're finally allowing Mario to kind of branch out a bit and experiment with Mario games, because they were getting a bit dull. They were getting a bit, just kind of like, a bit of the same, which is not a bad thing. Mario games are great, but they need to try more things, put Mario in new environments, and it looks like that's what they're doing. The downside, and this is one thing that I wish they hadn't done, it's going to be a holiday 2017 title. I wish that had been... I know obviously you can't make a game come out just with a snap of your finger, but I wish they had. I wish they had made it anyway. If they could have made it a launch title, I think that would have saved the system. Not saved it, but we'll talk about launch title games later on at the end. But holiday 2017, assuming there's no, you know, pushbacks or anything. But it looks great. I think that it's going in the right direction, and I hope that they keep working on it. The next one we got, I was a bit surprised, is Xenoblade 2. Now, if you're not familiar, the Xenoblade series is by Monolith Soft. They first started off, well, I mean, they've been making games for a while, but in the Xenoblade series, they did Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii, and then that really didn't do, like, it didn't come to America much. They made a couple copies for the Wii, but it's actually a pretty rare game to have for your Wii. I do thankfully own a copy. And then they ported Xenoblade Chronicles over to 3DS, which was a really good port. And then they made Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U, which is an amazing game. So Xenoblade, it's Xenoblade 2. Not Xenoblade Chronicles 2, just Xenoblade 2. It basically looks like the same kind of gameplay as the Xenoblade series. Big open areas, big giant monsters in the back that you look like you'll probably fight. But then they went with the characters like a very like anime cartoony style. And they kind of stand out against the backgrounds. They look a little too anime for me. So I don't know how those are going to work. So I have faith in them because I think both Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade X are fantastic games. So I have faith in them that they'll make it do. But the character designs is a bit jarring, just to say the least. That one there was sadly no launch window, which means 2017 is probably not going to be its time to come out. I'm guessing probably 2018 game for that one. We did get kind of just a little snippet of a new Fire Emblem game. Don't get excited, it is a Fire Emblem Warriors game. If you're not familiar, the Warriors series is a series by Koei Tecmo, which takes very well-known properties. They did like a Zelda one. They've done a bunch of One Piece ones, which I really like. They take those and they kind of like big games where you just fight 100 people at a time, and they're kind of made just to make yourself feel cool, like you're beating a bunch of people up, and you just go from areas to areas, taking over things, fighting people at a time. So they're just doing that same treatment with Fire Emblem. So don't expect the normal Fire Emblem like turn-based gameplay. This is very much so going to be just a run around, kill 100 people at a time with your sword, with a bunch of Fire Emblem characters that have already been established. So it's not going to add anything new to the Fire Emblem series, but it should still be probably like a fun, I'd say a fun summer game is my guess. They did boast a big third-party lineup. I think they said like 50 third-party companies were supporting them. They didn't talk about too many. Sega was there. Bethesda came in and did confirm that Skyrim was being ported, which is exciting, but Skyrim's kind of an old game, and honestly, it's past its time for me. But it's still exciting. They showed off like a new Shin Megami Tensei from Atlas. There was a couple other things. Nothing crazy exciting from third party. EA showed off like a FIFA game. But it's nice to know that the third party support is there. I think that's just what they were trying to infer to the audience is that, because that was a big problem with Wii U, is that the third parties just didn't want to touch the thing. It was toxic to them, and they just would not touch it. So Nintendo, I think, just wanted to assure the fans that yes, third-party support is there. You don't have to worry about that. Finally, the most exciting thing for sure, which they saved for the very end of the trailer, the whole presentation, was Zelda Breath of the Wild. I did not expect a new trailer, but boy, they put in an amazing trailer at the end there for Breath of the Wild. Holy baloney. We got a lot. It does look like voice acting is confirmed. We had multiple characters speaking, with Zelda included, except for Link, and I hope they keep Link silent. I don't think Link needs a voice actor, and it would just take away from it. They did show a lot of pre-established characters and races. I saw Goron for sure in there. There was a couple other things. I'm pretty sure I saw a glimpse of the Great Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time, which is really cool. There was like a bunch of fish-like people, kind of like Zora's, not sure, it could have been. Some bird-type people, so a lot of stuff. It looks amazing. They showed a lot of big enemies, and it does look like Zelda is going to play a very important and prominent role in this, just kind of like she did in Skyward Sword. So, we'll see how that plays out. Excited for that one. And thankfully, they did announce, and they made you wait to find this out till the end of the game. They did announce that Breath of the Wild will be a launch game coming out on March 3rd. So, for people like me, who obviously love Zelda, that will be a system seller. It already was, but, you know. Which brings me to, while it's exciting to get Zelda, I fear that Nintendo has not learned their lesson. Because the launch lineup, as it stands now, is god-awful. We have Zelda, super exciting. And we have that 1-2 Switch game. And that's it. They didn't mention any of the third-party games, like release dates, so I'm sure maybe, I can't imagine Skyrim's going to be that hard to port, so I'm sure that'd probably be a launch game. But there were no launch games. Every game they talked about was at least summer or beyond. That's it. And that worries me quite a bit. Because the problem with the Wii U is it had no launch games and scared people away from it. And this might do the same. I mean, they have Zelda to sell it. But I think a game like Splatoon or Mario also being there as a launch game would have sealed the deal. But as it stands, with just Zelda being there, while it will hold it up for Zelda fans like myself, I'm not sure if it's going to do the trick. So we will see. I'm sure they have some more tricks up their sleeve with launch games, but with the launch being only a month and a half away, they better start pulling those tricks sooner rather than later, because you want to get the hype starting as soon as possible. Whew. And that's about it. Overall, I'd say I'm excited. It was a good press conference. We learned a good amount. It wasn't as many new exciting things as I was hoping there was, and there were some very awkward moments with translators, and some of the presentators were just kind of weird. But overall, I was very excited. I'm looking forward to the Switch. Not sure when pre-orders are going to go live. I did get a call from GameStop today, of all people, telling me pre-orders were going up on Friday the 13th. So I will probably be heading to my GameStop that morning to see if I can get a pre-order in. I'm hoping so. Because I want to get a game, I want to get a pre-order. I'm excited for it. So yeah, that is about all we know now with the Switch. Not a lot, but a good amount. This video, even without doing in-depth discussions, is already 18 minutes long, so I do apologize. There's a lot to talk about. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope I taught you something new about the Switch, if you hadn't already known about it. Tell me down in the comments below what your most excited and anticipated thing about the Switch is. For me, it's obviously Breath of the Wild. I can't wait for that game to get in my hands. Beyond excited. But let me know what your favorite game or just aspect of the Switch is. And let me know if you plan on pre-ordering it, if you're going to get it day one, or if you're going to wait a bit to see if some more better games are coming out for it. Because honestly, I don't blame you if you do. I'm also hoping that Nintendo does not do what they did with the NES Classic and make a fake, drought for the damn thing. Because they need to push it out. They don't need to put too many out so they're overstocked, but they need to push enough out. The people that really want them don't have to, kill each other to get them. If we have another amiibo situation again, Nintendo's going to be in trouble. Anyways, I've rambled on enough. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you didn't like this video, hit that dislike button. Prefer you didn't. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, what are you doing, you doofus? Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next week for a fun little video skit I have planned. And that's about it. Let's switch over to the end credits. They made that joke like 100 times in the presentation. I wanted to shoot myself. Bye, guys.